Hey everybody, it's Madam Warrior of Madam Warrior's Metal Madness, and I am doing a review today of a band called Banshee, which just released their Events Occur in Real Time EP. So they're a band from upstate New York, and it's kind of I would say it's more of a refreshing take on some of the more modern sounds of metalcore and hardcore. Uh, Basically, I'm not too familiar with a lot of the influences that they list as far as a lot of the modern bands, but I will say this. So I did enjoy it. One of the things that I did like about it is that it's actually not derivative of a lot of stuff that we've heard before with regards to this genre. So we don't have the usual melodeath worship, the annoying types of clean vocals, or the just the parts that really sound like really overly processed and triggered and all that. It has a very clean production, but it doesn't sound mechanical in a bad way. Like I do like a lot of industrial and like you know electronic stuff, so I don't mean mechanical in that way. I just mean like like there was this Vital Remains album that came out years ago with the drums basically sounded like they were like made by a computer, but like in a really bad, cheesy, over the top way. There's none of that kind of stuff. Or a lot of these metalcore bands have really cheesy productions that are totally brick walled and stuff. There was definitely with Banshee there was definitely like more of an organic feel, even if it's more modern production. And I really liked that about them too. So they, I would, I would say they're definitely influenced by a lot of like some of the more dissonant parts of a lot of bands. I guess I don't know if they're really familiar with Voivod or Neurosis or bands like that, but they definitely have those types of chord progressions in their songs, and that's definitely close to my heart, honestly. So I, so it's basically they have, it's about. Let's have to take a look here. I did got finished listening to it just now. I listened to a lot of it last night. So it's 6 songs. The first one's called Terror Bird. Keep It Secret, Keep It Safe. Lizard Conditions, or Ditons? That's what it says on Spotify. Sunflower, Hollywood Burn, and Constable. So I would have to say my favorite was probably Lizard Conditions. Thought that song kicked a lot of ass. And other songs pretty good too. And I hear, this is going to sound weird, but I hear a little bit of I'm probably totally off base because they probably don't. I mean, they might like this, but I don't know. I almost hear like a fear, emptiness, despair, Napalm Death-ish, that era, the more groove metal era of Napalm Death, which I actually like. I'm not a big fan of groove metal a lot of the time, but I actually hear some of that kind of like just the way they do it. Of course, there's no blasts or grindcore to be found, but the fact that that's kind of like this type of riffing that they did on some of those albums like Fear, Emptiness, Despair. It was like the mid-90s Napalm Death albums. I hear a little bit of that in there. So I would definitely check this band out. I would recommend it because it's pretty cool and kicks ass. It's very intense. And the vocals, like to come back to the vocals, the problems that I have with a lot of modern metalcore vocals are probably 2 or 3-fold as far as when they have clean vocals, it's usually it just sounds like almost I dare say like pop punk or post grunge, and that happens with so many bands. You don't have someone that sings like there's not a lot of people that sing like Dio in a metalcore band, but I'm not saying that they have to, but This one takes it back to like the 90s bands that were doing this stuff, in my opinion, without having that, like, as far as like the extreme parts, like some of the extreme vocals have gotten really annoying too. So, you know, I'm not going to mention all the names, but you know, there's some bands that are out there that I'm not really too fond of. There are some metalcore bands, like modern metalcore bands, that I like. This is like going back to the roots of the genre in a way, because there's a lack of the mellow death, and there's actual good riffs that sound original. So yes, I would recommend it. You can check the links to the band in the description of this video, and looking forward to what they do next.